You're probably considering the role of a delivery manager, but if you read all those job descriptions, it doesn't tell you actually what you are going to do on daily basis. I've been a delivery manager for over 5 years. That's why I know why there is so much confusion. And in this video, I'll tell you about the most important 5 responsibilities you need to know and the connected skills you need to master. But first, we need to talk about your mindset first, because lots of people think that it's a fancy title of a senior project manager, but they are dead wrong. Remember, you are not managing projects anymore. Instead, you are managing the entire delivery system for your clients. The best way to think about it is like, as a project manager, you were a captain of a ship. You sailed from point A to point B. When you become a delivery manager, you are the owner of a shipping company. You're responsible for the vessels, for their routes, for crews, trainings, foods, and their contracts. And on top of that, you are also responsible for the profitability of this whole company. So you need to think about it like you are managing a small business inside a bigger business. And that's what delivery managers do. And this leads us directly to the first critical responsibility of a delivery manager, because as a project manager, you probably did stakeholder management to get your project to the successful end. And here in this new role, you must upgrade this skill, because as a delivery manager, you need to build a strong strategic partnership with the client you're responsible for. Imagine your clients call you and say, hey, we have a problem, we need a solution as quickly as possible. And you should be ready to say, no problem, give me 2 days, I'll talk with my teams, and I'll give you possible solutions, timelines, the resources required, and the cost of this endeavor. That's why your top priority is to build a long-lasting partnership with your clients, so that you become the go-to person to solve their business problems, with the technical expertise that you and your team have. But of course, good relationships without execution and delivery means nothing. That's why your second responsibility is to build the whole ecosystem. This usually means that you need to organize the teams, you need to think about how they collect requirements, how they transform it into tasks and estimates, how they ensure quality, and how you deliver everything back to clients. Think with me for a second. What's more complex, to lead a large project with 50 people in it, or to lead an account with 50 people across 5 or 7 different projects? And that's exactly where new delivery managers usually fail and burn out, because they try to control all the projects, all the activities in their account as if they were project managers. Instead, your focus should be on building a scalable, predictable, and robust delivery system, from initiation of new projects to the final delivery to the customers. Hey, and by the way, if you like these insights, if you find them practical, please click the like button. It will help me reach more project managers like you who want to transition into delivery management. But here's where it gets interesting, and unfortunately it's a bit outside of the project management domain. Because think about it, can you just copy and paste your project management approach, even if it was successful for that project, from one client to another? If you'll try to do it, you'll fail miserably. I can tell you that, because every company, every client has its own DNA. They have decision-making patterns, they have hierarchy of leadership, they have internal politics, and there are some influential people who are outside of this whole chain. Here's one more critical difference between project managers and delivery managers. As a project manager, you finish a project and hand off the results to clients. As a delivery manager, you finish a project and you basically integrate it within the ecosystem of the client's organization. You can imagine it like you are a gardener who tends for the client's yard. That's why most of the times delivery manager is responsible for understanding how their clients run their business, what internal infrastructure and technology they use, how they approve budgets for the projects, everything that will help you integrate into their organization. So the end goal is to become the natural extension to this organization, like its department, rather than being an external vendor for them. But all of these, like integration, understanding their business, and partnership, means nothing if you bleed money. Because at the end of the day, your account, your collaboration with this client should be profitable for your organization. There are many aspects here. First of all, you'll need to build good compositions in your team in terms of expertise that you'll provide. Then you'll need to balance the right skill sets and expertise level with the salaries of your team members. Then you'll need to balance the costs tactically between teams. Some teams do critical work for the partnerships, other teams do some maintenance work. That's why this team can bleed money, but this team should basically give you the profit. And last but not least, you will need to ensure the continuous long-term partnership, which means you should always ensure the continuous flow of work for all of your teams, because if the team doesn't work, it doesn't get paid. But that's not all. This leads us to the fifth responsibility, which is basically an extension. Because you see, no one will tell you this directly, but this will make or break your career, and companies usually track it with some KPIs. Again, think about your most successful project where you fought the scope creep, you control the expectations of stakeholders, you maintain everything within the constraints and boundaries. Well, as a delivery manager, that will get you fired. Because your fifth responsibility is to actually grow your account all the time with new business opportunities. You see, if you solve a $10 million problem for your customers, they will not blink at signing a $500,000 invoice from you. And that's another critical mindset shift for you. Because as a project manager, you are fighting the scope creep, keeping everything under control. As a delivery manager, you should be on the lookout for the opportunities to extend scope, find new features, and solve new problems for the clients, because they will pay for it. And I almost hear you say, but Dmitry, I'm not a salesperson, I'm a project manager. And maybe that's another mindset shift here. You are definitely not a salesperson. You are a person who solves problems. That's why it's critical to understand the ecosystem of the client, find problems, and suggest solutions. Alright, pause the video now and tell me please if you are already excited by this new opportunity of getting a role of a delivery manager. And if you have any questions, feel free to write them, I'll answer them all. So here's the main question. Are you ready to become a delivery manager? So think about it. If you are more interested in controlling all the aspects of project, you enjoy delivering the value through your hard work, and you want to work directly with people, then probably you should stay in project management. But if you want to make bigger impact, if you want to have these conversations with decision makers, if you want to build partnerships and have an impact on the client's organization through your work, then delivery management is for you. But here's the catch, and please don't skip it. I know you want to jump right into that role, apply to it, but keep in mind that on an interview, you will be asked about very specific questions in project management, and you need to provide solutions based on those situations. That's why I recommend that you watch this video next, where I lay out practical project management approach that I used. Click the video now, I'm waiting for you there.